Assassin's Creed Victory. That is the brand new Assassin's Creed game coming your way in 2015. And no, this is not a rumor. This is not a random thought. This is not some speculation. This is actuality, which is their next-gen new AC mainline entry coming in 2015. Unity is only a couple weeks old, and it's had a boatload of problems. They've issued apologies, patches, and more, but apparently it's time to shift focus to the future. I read most of this on Kotaku, where they saw Assassin's Creed Victory in a 7.5-minute video and said it looks gorgeous. The game takes place in 19th century London, and it implements a few new gameplay mechanics. It apparently runs on the same Anvil engine, and interestingly enough, is helmed by Ubisoft Quebec. This is the first time that the big Assassin's Creed game is shifting away from Ubisoft Montreal. Of course, it will have help from tons of studios, but Ubisoft Quebec is running the show on this one, and apparently it is the only main AC game coming next year. PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Apparently they are dumping 360 and PS3 and not doing a game like Rogue, at least as of now. Now, it's codenamed Victory, probably because of the Victorian setting and the Victorian era, but some things that they took away from this video. Unfortunately, I don't have that footage, but there are some screenshots, and I'll link you to those. You can see that there is a battle on top of a streetcar. Apparently, you're going to assassinate this man, Roderick Bulmer, who is trafficking young girls throughout the city, which sounds quite dastardly, but you're fighting him atop this streetcar, and then you end up in a train station, and you use a new weapon, or a new traversal item, a grappling hook, where he throws a rope and is able to swing over to Bulmer and stab him in the chest. And then he moves on to a moving train to fight more Templar soldiers, crossing a river, and then it zooms out to the London horizon and says Assassin's Creed Victory. So apparently it looked very cool, and their main takeaways were that they're implementing some new gameplay designs, like moving battles, maybe a more cinematic feel, and then this grappling hook/rope thing might allow you to create much more flexibility in the way that you move about the world, specifically within indoor environments. And that's something that Unity definitely pushed, was being able to go inside houses and apartments and buildings and tons of structures and explore their internal facets rather than just their external architecture. And it seems like this would sort of jive with that and continue your ability to be fluent throughout an indoor world. It also maybe speaks to the fact that this more modern era would have less... As they get more advanced, you're going to have bigger buildings and bigger internals. And so this giant train station that they showed in the screenshot, like, it wouldn't just have a bunch of places and ropes randomly. So if you have your own grappling device, perhaps that brings a little bit more realism into the world instead of all of these carefully placed mazes of rope and string and posts for you to hop and hide upon. I find this interesting, exciting, and a bit crazy because the new one just came out and plenty of people don't even have it yet, and they're still dealing with the aftermath of AC Unity and all of the technical bugs that it faced. They canceled the season pass. They're giving the Dead Kings DLC to everyone for free, and there's that Assassin's Creed China side-scroller still yet to be released sometime, we assume in early 2015. So we're already shifting focus. This is before any video game awards. This is before E3, and the game apparently is pretty far along because they said this is all in engine, all in the Anvil engine, which is what Unity is gorgeously running on. And it was like not some of that BS switching, perspectives footage, but true gameplay footage, which is interesting. He also, this assassin, grabs a top hat as he's running through the train station to, disguise himself, so perhaps there's going to be more focus on not looking like the assassin in cowl that you consistently are in all the other games, which, again, speaks to maybe a desire for more realism as the franchise progresses towards the modern era. What do you guys think about the London setting, first of all, and then what do you think about a new AC already being announced? Does that rub you the wrong way? Are you ready to look forward to their next big release, or would you wish that they would give a little bit of time and space since they seem to have so many difficulties with Unity? And are you worried that Victory will come out with just as many problems and just as many troubles? I mean, apparently it's been being worked on for a while, and it is a different main team. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Fresh eyes on the series sometimes can bring new innovations and a lot of new fun, Or is this a B/C tier team that isn't going to be able to put the polish on that would be necessary? I feel like just like Advanced Warfare was such a critical juncture for the Call of Duty franchise, Victory is going to be a critical game for the Assassin's Creed franchise. I think people are beginning to worry and wonder if this series is just on a slippery slope down to mediocrity after the releases of Rogue and Unity were not only plagued by issues like melting faces and falling through the world and frame drops, but also lackluster story and lackluster gameplay. They're feeling more and more similar each and every year, and with another one, as this is annualized, will we see any significant improvements? I question that because it's not even the same team. Obviously, many of the tools and tips that they gained from producing and building Unity can be carried over to Victory, but sequels, in my opinion, usually benefit when the team takes 2 or 3 years to sort of look at what went well and what went wrong and come up with some new ways to explore said characters or said mechanics. Now, this is a different team, and they are being tasked to put forth a next-gen effort that looks beautiful. And will they just... I mean, basically the question of the day is Assassin's Creed just going to be the same game forever in different settings, or are they ever willing / wanting / ready to really take a big step forward? Sequels go one of two ways. Either they really expand and improve the game, or they just continue it with a different skin. If I think of something like Batman Arkham Asylum, which I thought was a very solid first entry for a brand new Batman trilogy, or quadrilogy, synctrilogy, whatever they end up making. You got Asylum, City, Origins, and now Night, 4 games so far. But City expanded on that by blowing open the world and introducing all these side missions and giving Batman new gadgets, another playable character in Catwoman, some very different elements to the city and whatnot that created a true sequel. Assassin's Creed doesn't really feel that way, except from 1 to 2. Brotherhood and Revelations made minor improvements but felt like sidesteps. 3 was not the trilogy concluder that anybody really wanted, at least in my circles. And then 4 was a departure, but more of a distraction. And Unity was supposed to be the return to glory, and it really wasn't that. Not to say it wasn't a good game, because I think it was, but it doesn't do what you would hope like a next-gen sequel would do. Typically, the second game on a new console is far stronger than the first, so we could, assume that Victory is going to be a victory for the Assassin's Creed franchise and give us what we want. But it makes me a little bit nervous that A, they're talking about it so early, B, it's clearly far along, C, it's made by a different team, and D, their focus here, I mean, yeah, there's this grappling thingy, and yeah, they're fighting on a moving train, but it's still, if you look at the screenshots, it still has all of the tropes. If I told you this was a DLC for Unity, you would believe me. If I started this video by saying new DLC for AC Unity set in London, one of those time, rips or whatever they're called, the rifts or the little weird anomalies, you would believe me, and I would believe it too. Instead, this is jumping the series to a brand new $60 package, and I don't know how I feel about it. Ubisoft Quebec did develop some downloadable content. They did the Tyranny of King Washington for AC3, and they did Freedom Cry for AC4, so they do have some chops, and they do have some history within the Assassin's Creed franchise. And like I mentioned, all the Ubisoft studios, or at least most of them, they all work on the Assassin's Creed games. But I'm beginning to wonder, with all the development time, money, effort that these next-gen titles take, are we running into a wall where annualized entries are not going to be able to be up to snuff? Are we going to have to settle with a 7 out of 10 game every year, where if they took a year off, maybe we could actually get a 9.5 out of 10 type game? And I don't think there's anything wrong with the Assassin's Creed formula. I don't think they're bad. I just think that it begins to get boring if all you do is swap the skin and deliver the same mechanical experience, especially when some of those mechanics are just not working. There still are instances in Unity where you are ascending, descending, traversing, and bumping into things and getting caught, and it's clumsy. It feels like you are encouraging Arno to go a place rather than guiding him precisely, and I can't stand that after 7, 8, 9 games, whatever it's been. Why is this not nailed down? Well, it's probably not nailed down because they have to pump them out so darn quick, and the focus is on shifting up the world and filling it with all of these things. I mean, open up the Unity map screen, and you'll see just an uncountable number of little icons telling you what's going on in the world here, there, everywhere. It's about maximizing gameplay hours, and minimizing development hours. That has been directly stated by Ubisoft, and I really hope that maybe they'll take a different course in Victory. Can Victory be the Assassin's Creed Victory that we all want? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's exciting to see something brand new this dang early. I did not expect it. It caught me totally off guard, and I'm recording this literally seconds after I saw this blowout surprise announcement. So I'm pumped to see something new. I just don't know if it's what we want, and I worry about where it's going to go. But fingers crossed, they could deliver something fantastic. We'll have to wait and see. I'm sure we'll get more of this as the events progress throughout 2015, leading up to probably a full-on reveal at E3 in June. Until that time, though, guys, girls, thanks so much for watching. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video and are excited for Assassin's Creed Victory or whatever Ubisoft is going to deliver in the coming years. Until that time, everybody, thanks again. Drink some hot chocolate, and we will see you all later.
Well done.